Hi, this is Blake, and I'm going to go over how I map for high-res areas. The first thing that I always do is I just download the GPX file. I don't bother with edit in JOSM or anything else. I just say download the GPX file for my task square, and then I load that, and you can right-click on it in the Layers panel, and you can say Custom Color, and I make mine yellow so it stands out. Then you come up to your File menu, and you choose Download from Mirror. You set your high-res equals no in the query, and you say download. And you can see it brings in, some existing polygons from around your area, or even in your area that somebody's already done. And you can see some of these polygons just end. If you're drawing and it's way out of your area of interest, you can just stop. I try and close all my polygons. We're circling low-res data, low-res imagery. So everything outside of the polygon is high-res. Inside of the polygon is low-res. But you can see some of these just stop because it got so far outside the area of interest that this person was doing the high-res mapping. So what I usually do is I usually get my corner in the middle of the screen, and you work at 900 meters because 900 meters is the point where it forces low-res imagery to load. And so somewhere around here, there's my corner. Okay. So you get yourself to 900 meters. You can see I'm at 900 meters. And I'm starting out in low res, and that's not good. It makes it a little bit trickier. But then this gives you the most amount of area covered, guaranteeing that you'll see high res and low res differences. So once I start here, I just use my control key and my arrow key, both at the same time, and I start going left to right, right to left to right, back and forth. And you can go pretty fast. I'm going kind of slow. Oh, and so now I've hit a spot where I need to start mapping this. So I'm going to start mapping, and you map up against the high-res area. So the first thing I do is I grab my location right here, because I'm going to want to come back here. When this is all over, I'm going to want to come right back here and go right back to my left and right scanning. But when I draw the extent of this, I could be all over the map. So zooming in and zooming out. The point is I want to come back exactly here and continue my back and forth. So I say add, and I click on there, and like I said, you go up against the high-res area. And now I just use my arrow keys, and I just start driving around and outlining this high-res area. Yeah, okay, so it's out of my download range. Nobody else is really working around here, so I'm fine. And I'm motivated to try and get my polygon closed. So I'll go outside my area if need be. And now remember, the part that I'm interested in is the low-res part. So this is already a little bit weird because I started low-res. A lot of times you start in high-res and it goes a little bit better. Okay, so I'm going to keep going just for a second here. This is going to be a little bit trickier. This is almost, I don't really quite know what's going on here. But this is the process I go through. And this is how I do it. And I'll keep doing this until I completely fill a polygon. And I'm just going to pretend that this is the end of my polygon right here for now. And so then when I'm all done, I make sure that I add my tags. And I add the high-res equal no tag. And I also add this note tag that says, this will be removed. Just leave it unchanged if you could for now, please. And that's it. And so now when I'm all done, depending on where I've ended up, I click back on here, and I paste back in my URL, and I make sure I'm at 900 meters, and I say jump there, and I get right back to my process of driving around and finding out where my extents are. This one looks like there's a lot of, so I'll have to do that too. So then I'd start in here, and that's the process I use. And so I would go, the only other part let's just pretend like I've done all of this and I did a great job, and I get to the end of my, this goes pretty fast. Once you get used to it, you'll see it goes pretty fast. So here's the end of my task square. So when I get to the end, this is what I do. These strips mostly go up and down, so they're usually longer than one of my screen widths here. So I move up one screen width, and then I move up, another screen width, and then I just start back in this way. until I find, a place where I have to stop and start doing the outlining. And then when I get to the other end, like I said, this will start to go pretty fast for you. You'll figure out how fast you can move for your stuff to load. When you get to the other end, it's the same thing. Okay, so here's the other end. So now I would go up 1, and then up 1 3/4-ish, and then I start going this way again. And I start back on this pattern. And that's how I do it.